Contender Racing. Sosi next from Giavolotto and Ellerslie. Sosi leads. It's Farb and Guion. Sosi beat home Giavolotto. It's Ka Ying Rising. The crowd lifts. 250 to go. This is what we came to see. 16 in a row. The world's best sprinter. He is just unbeatable. Ka Ying Rising has won. Voyage Bubble, Soul Rush, 2 lengths to Red Lion, 100 to go. Voyage Bubble lifts on the inside. He's coming back. He is too good, Voyage Bubble. There's blue and white appearing, and that blue and white is Romantic Warrior. The leader, though, is Romantic Warrior. It's history. It's cup number 4, the Warrior.
Some great memories from Hong Kong International Races 2025. Hello and welcome to the Triple Trio in 2026. Brent Zerafa here alongside Jason Tan and Shane Dye. We've had a couple of late scratchings. A few emergencies have made the field, but boys, it's great to be part of the show.
Oh, nice to have you along, BZ. Yep, I'm in the chair for Hutchie, who is away on holiday, but one constant, the Hall of Fame jockey, to join us on the first show of 2026. Shane Dye.
Yeah, well, the phone rang this morning. I was on my morning walk through the city. Clint Hutchison, hello from Rome. We've got a late scratching on vet's advice. Jason Richardson's out, so I'm glad to be filling in. But Shane, how have you enjoyed the break over the past couple of weeks?
It's been good. Hong Kong was fantastic. The racing was great, and we just come off the Magic Millions last week, and we're back into the big racing in Hong Kong now. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, as mentioned, Clint Hutchison is enjoying himself on a little family holiday. Wouldn't even say little. It's been a fair trip. Let's catch up with him where he's in Rome.
Hey guys, you guessed it. I am in Rome. Well, it's been a great family trip. We're at the end of it now, and we've got plenty to look forward to when I get back on the show next week. Of course, we'll be discussing the Classic Mile next weekend, the Derby rankings. I've been spending a lot of time on the Hong Kong form and those Derby rankings, which have been so good in the past. So let's hope we can do that again this season. And we'll also be sharing next week, of course, what's transpiring this weekend. Ka Ying Rising. He'll be making it 17 in a row and equaling Silent Witness's record. And outside of that, J-Mac, Purton, Bubble, Warrior. It's going to be great racing, so lots to discuss. So I'm going to enjoy the last leg of my trip. In the meantime, ciao and good luck.
Looks like the holiday's doing him very well. He's got the beard. He's looking as though he's had plenty of sunshine as well there, Shane.
It's nice to be sun. But over there it's winter now, isn't it? It's not summer, so he wouldn't be getting that tanned.
I think he's been through North America, where it's been very cold. It was freezing in London, and he's getting progressively warmer to reacclimatise himself back to Melbourne. But Shane, just reflecting on HKIR Day in December, you were a part of the Triple Trio tour group as well. How special was it to see Ka Ying Rising go out there and do what he did? And we get to see him again this weekend, as well as Romantic Warrior making it 4 in a row.
Well, we got to see the real Ka Ying Rising this year. I don't believe last year, International Day, he was at his best, and I do not believe for 100% he wasn't at his best in the Everest. But he did what we knew he could do, and he was just awesome, Jason. Like, he just demologized them, you know, like when he quickened, he put 4 lengths on them, and he did it hard held, more or less, the last 100 metres.
And you said to James McDonald, when he came on the show in December, you were joking to him about his Vaucluse house, and he managed to win that 4th Hong Kong Cup with Romantic Warrior. So have you decided what rooms you're going to get from him?
Didn't he say something about giving me a room or something to stay?
I think he
I don't
did.
know. It was something.
Yeah.
I think he did. Look, he's an awesome horse, and he rides him well, and it's amazing. 4 years in a row he's won that race now, and there's no reason why he won't come back next year and win it again. He's being looked after. They're not going to travel him. He was awesome last start, and he'll probably win again this weekend, although Voyage Bubble's going very well, Jace.
Yeah, he certainly is, BZ.
Yeah, so we've got the 2 titans of Hong Kong racing in action at Sha Tin on Sunday. And you touched on the trip that you had for the international meeting. it wasn't just fun and frivolity. There was plenty of action on the track. And you guys even picked up the Triple Trio.
Three quarters, Giavolotto, it's 2023 all over again, it's Far and Guion, Sosi beat home Giavolotto. This is what we came to see, 16 in a row, the world's best sprinter, he is just unbeatable. What a horse, what a win.
See that? A donkey couldn't do that.
Abdallah and McDonald, it's on the inside, Mr. Dapper, Prestige good on the outside, the pair of them, Prestige good is too good.
Happy days.
Some familiar faces there filling up on at Sha Tin on International Day. That would have been a good moment, Jace.
It certainly was. And Daisy, you love the Triple Trio bet type. How much fun was it? What was the atmosphere like in there when the team actually struck one?
How many people were there? About 50 with us?
Yeah.
Or something like that. They all had a great time. They loved it. Everyone put in 500 Hong Kong each. And what did they end up getting back?
Oh, I think they got 11,000 back or something like that.
11,000 or something back for their 500. So they had a ball. That's Hong Kong dollars. And they really enjoyed it. And, of course, the Hong Kong Jockey Club put International Day on so well. And no one could believe the food there because it's just non-stop oysters, lobsters, the best meats, everything. And they enjoyed Hong Kong. And most of them said to me they're going to come back again next year.
Well, thankfully, the ticket's pretty much paid for now. There'll be a few signing up already for the end of 2026. Coming up on today's show, we have a special guest in David Hayes, the trainer of Ka Ying Rising. He's got a big team in on Sunday, but obviously the focus with the top horse. We've got HUTCHI'S form files, we've got the Idol. We're going to have a look at what some global racing with the Whirlpool, and the Hong Kong Derby is starting to warm up with the 4-year-old series really starting to come to a crescendo. So a big edition of the Triple Trio, and we're going to start with our look at the main races. So looking at the Centenary Sprint, which is the feature race on Sunday, Jace, this is expected to be totally dominated by Ka Ying Rising.
Yeah, Ka Ying Rising will probably go round money back. The HH early rated price is $1.10. It's very hard to have a horse shorter than that, but he will be on the tote. Helios Express, Fast Network and Raging Blizzard. I'm not sure there's too much between them, but we'll get the thoughts from Shane very soon. Here is Ka Ying Rising and what he did in December. RS. Zach figured out the track. The inside was off. He took him to the middle of the track and he did this.
It was awesome. Just incredible. He'll be winning again. You don't have to worry about that. He trialled very well the other day. It's just a matter of what runs second and third. Now, Fast Network, he's going really well. He had to do the chasing here. He's got gate 2. He'll get a better sit, and hopefully the track's a bit better where the inside's not off. He's going to be hard to beat. Well, here's Ka Ying Rising's trial. You see how he did it. Now, Helios Express is back a bit. He never trials that well, boys. He hasn't all season. I don't think he's going as well as last season, but he can still place.
He's an interesting horse, isn't he? We're starting to see John Sizer's horses as a general rule. The whole stable is starting to fire up, as is often the case as we approach halfway mark in the season. Who would be the horses that you would have for those minors, Shane, given that we'll be...
Oh, definitely Fast Network. Fast Network, definitely. He trialled here. You'll see him here up at in China a couple of weeks ago, and geez, he looked good. And the second horse is Tomodachi Kokoro. in the green colours, well, look how quickly he's gone past him and the other one's pushed out. So on that trial, there's no way Tomodachi Kokoro can beat him, you would think. I think there's 4 chances, of course, and this is another one who ran second International Day, Rising Blizzard. He's going well. He'll get back and he'll run on. And the way he's racing, he can definitely place. So, like looking at it, it's not a hard race, this at all.
What were your thoughts, Jason?
Yeah, very much in line with what Shane has said. It's hard to see second and third not being fought out by those 3 horses, Fast Network, Raging Blizzard, and in my selections I've also got Helios Express there. So there you go, 1, 3, 2, 4, nothing outside of the box really, RS.
No, that's about right. I think I'm 1, 3. What am I going to go? We'll put it up here, 2, 4, more or less. The other 3. And it wouldn't be a surprise if Rising Blizzard placed.
Moving now to the Stewards Cup, which from a betting perspective, you'd imagine is a little more competitive than the previous race, but Romantic Warrior, sort of expecting him still to be odds on?
I think so, and he might even be shorter than that. He has such a huge following, and even though it's 1,600 metres, we saw him beat Voyage Bubble for a turn of foot in the lead-up race to December. And that was very much a sit sprint race. And this is that event, this is the Jockey Club Cup where, Shane, they went so slowly early. And this horse who was won over 1,200 metres, I think he sat 3 or 4 wide on debut at the Valley and still managed to win over 1,200 Romantic Warrior. He's just beaten them all for brilliance.
Yeah, well, they're both outstanding horses and both have outstanding records, as we know. But if I'm picking one, I'm picking Romantic Warrior. James will follow Zach the whole way. He's got the best gate, gate 7. Voyage Bubble's drawn gate 6. He'll just follow him and he'll get over top of him late. He's definitely going better than other seasons in trials, this horse. Like, he's trialling so well, his action's fluent, and he just looks a real happy horse at present, Romantic Warrior. This is Sunlight Power, the horse down the outside getting home. He's a nice horse who can place, but look, they're not going to beat Romantic Warrior or Voyage Bubble, I would believe.
It's crazy to think that at 8 years old, he might be racing as well as ever, Romantic Warrior, Shane. I know you wrote an article for Idle Horse about the job that Danny Shum has done with him, but it's quite extraordinary, isn't it?
Yes, well, I actually said before his first run this season, his trials and his action are better than any other season. And we know that he got operated on in the off-season. So that has definitely helped him. There's no risk about that. And you've seen how he's racing. He's going better than ever.
Looking back at December and the International Mile, this was taken out by Voyage Bubble and he was able to sort of come back in trip and win this Group 1, avoiding Romantic Warrior. What do we take out of this race, Jason?
Oh, it was a very strong sort of staying mile performance, I suppose, and that's the question. For him, over 1,600, his mile record looks imposing, but at this stage of his career, Shane, is that his best trip?
It's debatable whether it's a mile or 2,000 metres. One thing I will say about this race they didn't go quick early, I believe, and it was a non-pace race. And those horses back a bit just couldn't get into it. Here's Voyage Bubble having a very easy trial. And, of course, Lucky Sway Ness is here. He trialled all right and he's racing well. He goes to a mile for the first time. I've always thought he would be able to run it. Now, we know he's not as good as he was. He's had an injury and he's getting older, but it'll be interesting to see him run the mile, Jace.
Yeah, it certainly will be. Like, we saw him in the sprint. He was in that clump of horses in December in the sprint, finishing sort of amongst second, third, fourth. I managed to catch up with the owners at Karaka Ready to Run sales late last year, and they were champing at the bit to see him over a mile, and now they get their opportunity. He won't disgrace himself, Lucky Sway Ness. That early part of the mile might suit him better tempo-wise, don't you think, Shane? Because the sprints are just a bit too sharp for him.
100%. He doesn't have gate speed, and that's been his problem all of his career. He can get himself into trouble. He won't get himself into trouble in a mile, and he'll actually get into a stride sooner and better, and he'll be more relaxed early. He's not the worst, but I still can't see how he can beat those other two horses.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with Romantic Warrior on top of Voyage Bubble. Tactically, I wonder whether Zach Purton might try and pull a rabbit out of the hat with Voyage Bubble to try and get the champ beat, but we'll see. My Wish, we haven't really talked about My Wish RS, but he's got a good draw. How do you think he'll be ridden with Alexi Bedell now taking over the ride?
He won't be ridden any different. It'll just be the same. He'll be forward, and he's got a very good chance in the race. He was a little bit disappointing, but he drew in the international mile. But the problem was he drew in, and you all knew that the fence was off. You had to get off it. So they rode him a little bit quieter to get off the fence, and it didn't help him because they didn't go quick, and then they come back and he got cluttered up and he didn't hit the line, but nothing really hit the line. Galaxy Patch got home all right. But it was just a funny run race that. I've definitely got Romantic Warrior. Look, Zach could even lead on Voyage Bubble. You wouldn't know what he's going to do. He could do anything. There's not a lot of gate speed in this race. You got Red Lion as probably the only horse, and of course My Wish. Outside of that, you've only got Voyage Bubble and Lucky Sway Nest. You wouldn't know what he would do, whether they press forward over a mile. But it's pretty simple for me. And also, Galaxy Patch is the forgotten horse. He's not going bad, trust me. His run in the international mile was okay. It just was pace related. He needs the pace on, but he may not get it here.
Moving now to race number 9 on the program to have a look at our preview. This is the Able Friend Handicap Sprint Trip 1,200 metres. Take us through this field, Jace.
Patch of Stars is probably going to be the market elect, although Invincible Shield beat him last time and has drawn well. Interesting runner resuming as Packing Angel. We'll get Shane's thoughts on how that horse has trialled. And down the other side of the page there, we've got Young Champion. But the race that we're going to focus on features Invincible Shield and Patch of Stars. Patch of Stars on this day was caught wide, and it was very much an up and in pattern, Shane, that didn't really suit.
Correct. But before that, he was very impressive when he won. I like this horse. He's going good. I think he's had a couple of trials since then, or a trial, I should say, and he trialled really well. I think he's going to be very hard to beat here, Patch of Stars. But Invincible Shield's racing well. Here's his trial here. He was back a bit and he just cruised home easy to win with Zach on. He's a nice horse, and his form's very, very good. Like he had won his previous 2 starts this season. He's got gate 5. He'll be running midfield, and he gets his chance to win here, I believe.
I get the feeling that barrier 5 is really important for Patch of Stars. Zach's going to have the option of just planting him, as Shane said, behind the speed, and we might see something really explosive. He had to work really hard against a pattern last time, so he's still got that element of X factor with his turn of foot, Patch of Stars. But I don't know that it's a long sprint, Shane. We've sort of seen him sort of loom up and then sort of come to the end of it. It seems like a real short, sharp sprint.
Yeah, he's got that about 150-metre sprint, but when he goes, he can quicken, but he can't sustain it. So you just got to time him right. I'm sure Zach will.
What about Swift Ascend? Can it be a factor?
Yeah, certainly is drawn to be a factor, Swift Ascend. Actually, the draw is a difficult factor for Swift Ascend, I should say, but he's been mixing his surfaces, but back to the turf, Shane, he can run well?
Yeah, he's placed his last 2 runs on dirt, of course. He's got gate 10. He might have to go back from gate 10, which isn't going to be easy. Only got the lightweight. He's not the worst. Here's Packing Angel. Now, he's a really nice horse who ran very well in the Derby. But, of course, he's had a knee operation since then to remove bones on his knee, I think it was. He's had quite a few trials back. I don't think he's trialled great, but he hasn't really been tested a lot, so we won't know until he races. 1,200... well, could be. I think he's better over 14 than 12, but he's definitely got the ability, and he looked a really nice horse.
You'll be betting in this race, Jace?
I'll be looking at the price very closely of Patch of Stars. Another horse, Shane, Master of My Universe, I think is ready to perform strongly. Didn't get all favours last time either. And then Invincible Shield. 4-7-1 for me. Have you got Master of My Universe in your numbers, Shane?
Yeah, I have. He's going better than his form reads. His form doesn't read that well on paper. He's not having much luck. Small field, 11 runners. He'll get back from a wide gate, come down the outside. He gets his chance. I've gone Patch of Stars, Invincible Shield, Master of My Universe, with a watch on Packing Angel. who will improve with the run.
We'll stay with us here on the Triple Trio. We're going to have a special guest in David Hayes on the other side of the break.
This is what we came to see. 16 in a row. The world's best sprinter. He is just unbeatable. Ka Ying Rising. What a horse. What a win.
It's almost 3 years to the day that he had his first barrier jump out at Levin. You know, when he left us, he was a boy, and he's certainly a man now. It is certainly very nice to be up here because we're always trying to learn about what it is that really suits horses in this sort of environment. It's just complete untapped potential, and at the end of the day, that's how we like to sell horses, in the hope that one will become a Ka Ying Rising, you know. And you know, we've sold a few horses since, and that are also going on and doing a really good job. And for us, that's what it's all about, is sort of trying to identify that talent that can sort of fit a place like Hong Kong. I guess in some ways he's just a wonderful advertisement for horse racing in general, and that good horses can literally come from anywhere. The environment and the nursery that we have in New Zealand is something that can't be underestimated. You know, they're given time to develop naturally, and it really is a wonderful nursery. You're dead right. We've always punched well above our weight.
Can he make it 16 in a row? Ka Ying Rising, they're racing. Ka Ying Rising leads the way. It's Ka Ying Rising, 4:50 to go on the sprint. Zach brings him 3 off the rail, and he has them all chasing. It's Ka Ying Rising. The crowd lifts, 2:50 to go. He's 3 lengths on Fast Network. This is what we came to see. 16 in a row. The world's best sprinter. He is just unbeatable. Ka Ying Rising has won the Longines Hong Kong Sprint for Fun. What a horse, what a win.
He just seems to be having other 2 gears up his sleeve where others sort of are under pressure behind him, and you know, it's just how clinical is Zach, and he's just a right inch perfect.
And it's great to welcome David Hayes, the trainer of Ka Ying Rising, to the Triple Trio. Dave, how are you feeling heading into Sunday?
Yeah, confident. I think he's held his form. He's just a wonderful horse that hasn't had a setback, touch wood, for a couple of years, and just gets the job done. So, yeah, I'm feeling very confident going into the race on the weekend.
And the big talking point is that win 17, if you can get it to equal Silent Witness. You're a student of history and a lover of the game. How does that sit with you?
Yeah, really well. There's been a lot of Silent Witness stuff in the socials this week, and David Rafal's call when he won this, he said 17 will never be seen again. So it's fantastic that I've got one that has done it, or is attempting to do it.
You had a runner in this race, didn't you, David?
Yeah, I ran 3rd.
What was that atmosphere like on that day?
It was incredible. I do remember that. I think Shane would remember it as well. But he was larger than life and still one of the best sprinters I've ever seen, probably apart from Black Caviar. And yeah, he just owned the place and won the 17, which was unthinkable. And as I said earlier, to have a horse that is on the verge of doing it, it's just incredible.
RS, you rode in that race, I think. I think you're a fair bit off Silent Witness that day, and you rode against him a lot when he put that streak together. What was that like?
It was incredible. I actually was part of the reason he got beat at his next start, because they put him up to a mile, and I knew if they went slow, nothing would beat him. So I kind of pressured him a little bit, and he only got collared the last 2 strides or 1 stride on the line and got beat, and they ran 1:33, which at the time was a record in Hong Kong. But he was awesome. I always say, and I've always said this, you put Black Caviar and Silent Witness together, there's nothing between them. One would win one day, the other would win another day. But if you put Ka Ying Rising against Silent Witness and Black Caviar, Ka Ying Rising's winning every time. He's just better than them. Simple as that. And I don't care who argues. That's my opinion anyway, Dave. And I'm sticking by it.
Yeah. Well, I won't turn your volume down, I can promise you. But one thing Ka Ying can do is you can start him out of the gates, but then he has this uncanny knack to relax. So if someone wants to terrorise him, he can just sit off them. I actually think he's better following, but he's won half of his races following and half of his races leading. He's just got two. He's not a one-trick pony.
How's his work been, David?
Yeah, really good. Just doing what he always does. He had a trial last week. Couldn't have asked for more. Jumped probably faster than I've ever seen him. And we've just marked time this week, and we've got a couple more sleeps, and hopefully it'll be over.
Thought it was really refreshing when Zach joined the Triple Trio in December, hearing him describe his approach to riding the horse and being associated with him and enjoying every moment and savouring the opportunities any time he was able to be legged aboard him, whether it be work, trials or race day. Bit different for a trainer, David. Can you describe your approach with a champion like him?
Look, one of the main things we do is keep him in a very strict routine. And really spend a lot of time thinking about getting him out on the track with not much traffic. It's a pretty busy place, Hong Kong. And one of the things that could bring him unstuck is getting kicked or ran into. So we really spend lots of energy making sure he gets a clear space on the track. And
you sort of even mentioned just a few moments ago, just getting this out of the way. Is that what it's become? Like you're just doing so much to keep him together, and it's a sense of relief when he happens to come out and perform the way he does? Yeah, like the Everest, because the overhyped trial and Zach's negative comments put a lot of heat on the horse. And I thought he was where I wanted him, but I wasn't sure. But here in Hong Kong, he's in such a great routine. Barring something terrible happening on the weekend, everyone, when you're $1.10 or $1.00, you're just expected to win, but it's not as simple as that. Everyone can tell you things go wrong in races. You just want to get it over and done with. If we do get through Sunday as expected, what does 2026 look like for Ka Ying Rising at this point? We've put together this graphic. Does that look sort of standard as what you're kind of thinking as well, David? That's about a rinse and repeat. The only thing that might change is after the Everest, if the club would be happy to, I would miss the Jockey Club Sprint and run in the race at Rose Hill with the bonus, 1,300 before the Hong Kong Sprint. What's happening in these sprints is he's affecting the market that much. The Jockey Club are actually losing on his races because there's not much betting. David, all the best with Ka Ying Rising, but you've got 12 horses in total in on Sunday. Hong Kong's very closed shop. And that suit's looking good. It's not bad. It looks clean. 12 horses is a lot to have on a race day in Hong Kong, isn't it? Do you have many more than that in, or have you had many more than that in before? No, that's about the maximum you can have. It's not easy. You've only got a cap of 70, of which 20 are either injured or getting ready. So, yeah, that's... but on the big days, you like to have a nice hand in. I've got some good young horses running, but I've been crucified by the barriers this weekend. You also got Straight Aaron in the Group 1 Stewards Cup. Where's that horse at? There's a really nice race, 1,800 Group 3 in a couple of weeks, and that's the target for him. I'd be shocked if Ka Ying lost, and I'd be even more shocked if Straight Aaron beat Romantic Warrior and Voyage Bubble. In terms of the premiership, David, are you happy where things are sitting at the moment, basically at the halfway point of the season? Yeah, look, I think Johnny Size is hovering in the background, but I'm in the hunt, and I've got plenty more winners to come, so I might be able to creep up on them a bit in the coming weeks. That sounds pretty understated. I thought you might have been coming with a bit more attack, given you got 12 in on Sunday and some promising up-and-comers that haven't drawn well. Yeah, well, I've always been humble. David, one quick question. I don't know the answer. You can tell me.
Unfortunately, the boys and you lost your property in Lindsay Park through fire. And I don't know how big the property is. And naturally, you're going to have to rebuild all the buildings like the barns and the houses and whatever. What about the land? Do you have to go back and replant grass, or will that grow again? What do you have to do there to start getting it going again?
Yeah, we basically have to plough it all back in and put new pasture in. So it actually sterilises the ground and it's really good for the ground, but you can't normally do it. So once the pasture's re-established, they'll be better than they've ever been, but we've got a year sitting on the fence. We lost 98 miles of fencing, so it's going to take a good year and a half to re-fence it and get the pastures back. But when they come back, it'll be like a Garden of Eden. It'll be wonderful. We're very, very lucky with where the main infrastructure was 100 acres of irrigation. The stables were inside it, so the main infrastructure was protected. But everything outside the infrastructure was burnt down. The protected area was burnt down. Fencing, Ben's house, barns. So it was all a bit sad. A lot of Dad's memorabilia went, which was in the Better Loosen Up barn. You can't replace that, but we're pretty well covered with insurance, and the insurance company's been wonderful, great help. So we've got plans in place to rebuild, and that place will be back bigger and better, but it'll take a couple of years.
Well, David, thanks for joining us, and we wish you all the best there with the team at Lindsay Park, and good luck on Sunday with Ka Ying Rising.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Welcome back to the Triple Trio. Well, with HUTCHI'S still enjoying his holiday, he's back next week. But Jace, you've been charged with the form files.
Yeah, and the sweet and defeat file, which is HUTCHI'S very famous file of the runners that will perform hopefully well next up. And we've got 3 that have made it. The Unique Star, who debuted very well down the straight, but didn't have all favours the last 250 metres. Run Timing, who ran well, just didn't find the right spot on the dirt on Wednesday. And the horse we're going to have a look at is Oreo, who lined up in the 8th race. Drew wide for James Orman, was just caught in a really awkward spot, jumped relatively well for him, and then James has looked to his inside and there are a whole pile of horses there, decides to go back, and then has just cast 4 and 5 wide the trip. Gee, Shane, I can't believe that this horse got as close to winning as he did. I think he got to within half a length at the end, and it was just one of those circumstantial things where there was just no spot to go in, given that he decided to come back.
Yeah, he should have stayed forward a little bit where he is now, because he ended up in the same position as he would have been instead of going back. He probably should have won. Well, he should have won for sure if he doesn't go back and he stays midfield. This horse has really gone to another level this season, Jace, and he's improved a lot. Even though he showed glimpses last year, he's going to be winning again soon. There's no risk about that. And you watch him here, he keeps coming after a wide and hard run. Very good run, Jace.
Yeah, it certainly was. Last start, the market signalled that he had a lot of ability. They backed him like he was unbeatable. He drew inside and he won very softly. And this run, as Shane mentioned, really reinforced the opinion of the horse. He's certainly not going to be far away from another win.
No, it was a good performance.
Jace, is that one of yours or one of Clint's?
I'll say it's one of mine, but it's probably one of everyone's. It wasn't hard to find.
Has he still been on the text line while he's been enjoying himself across the globe?
Look, I talk to him nearly every day about Hong Kong racing. He's that sick for it, and I don't know whether his family like him for it, but he juggles both amazingly well. I don't know how he does it.
What about the HUTCHI'S Honkers top-rated performance? This
performance, Shane, really sort of caught the HH rating watchers, which are basically Clint and me, by surprise. Hot Delight rated 75.1 on debut. It just showed the depth of race that he competed in. There was a good margin here between first, second, third and the rest of them. This horse under Vincent Ho really let down well. And like some of these other horses like Solid Car, there's another debutant in there that ran super, that runs second here, Shane. This was a really good performance.
Yeah, the other horse that Luke Ferraris rode was very unlucky, Cloud 9 or whatever it's called. He was very impressive, this horse. His trials were really good. and he looked as though he could win before the race. He had a wide run the whole way. You'd think he's going to improve, and he's only going to get better. He's a nice horse who's definitely got a future.
Just to put that 75.1 into some sort of context, it's about 3.5 to 4 lengths better than an HH standard Class 4 winner. So that suggests that he's well above average, so certainly a horse to follow.
Yeah, he looked as though he was strong there in the concluding stages. Are we expected to see him in the not-too-distant
Well, I'm
future?
not sure his program, but I wouldn't be surprised in the next 2 or 3 weeks to see him for sure.
Well, now it's time for the Idol. What have you got for us this week, Shane?
Well, I've been away for the last 6 or 7 weeks not doing it, and I didn't go back through them all. I just did the last weekends and Wednesday nights. I'm going Ashkavani, Brendan Avella. This is a good ride, and jockeys are not riding this track as well as they should be. This is the A track, and the inside is off big time. You cannot go anywhere near the fence at present on that track. Now, he stays out here and he's leading. Most people would go to the fence and even watch the jockey in the last race. He went straight to the fence, which was wrong. He stays off 3 or 4 horses. He comes back in a little bit to save a little bit of ground around this first bend, and you'll see him here. This horse was way overs. He was $42 into 18, but it wasn't a surprise because he's had no luck his last 3 runs, that horse, and he always had a chance here. So he comes back in a little bit, but as soon as he straightens, which you'll see, he never goes to the fence. He comes back out 4 or 5 horses. So he's actually riding the track. And boys, you got to ride this track on the A track at present. It's just off. It's just bad on the inside. See how he comes out there? So I thought he showed a lot of initiative on an outsider and gave it the perfect ride and run in the race. And there's still blokes cutting back to the inside, which is a waste of time because the last 2 or 3 meetings there, like I've got it 5 lengths better in the middle of the track to the inside. And as I said before, that many horses that raced on the inside International Day have come out and won since.
I was actually going to ask you, RS, about how you quantify it, but saying that 5 lengths, that's very significant. And as Shane also mentioned...
it is. It's 4 or 5 lengths worse.
Yeah. And would you say sort of 3 widths at least?
You don't want to be inside 3. Now, it's funny the A-track because all through history of the A-track, it's always raced midfield 3 deep with cover. That's the best place. But last year, for some unknown reason to me, it switched to being the fence. And I don't know why. The fence was good and leaders were winning. And leaders never really figured on the A-track through the years, I always felt. But this year, oh my God, it's just a huge advantage. You saw International Day, you could not be within 3 to 4 horses off the fence. And the last meeting there last week was the same. You wanted to be deep with cover. So anyone that's riding the track like that, good on them.
Brent Avella gets the 3 votes. Who was the 2 and the 1?
I thought this was a really good ride on Wednesday night, Dylan. I know he had gate 2, but he could have pushed forward, but he come back 50 metres after the start and got 3 back the fence. But the best thing about him was just at the 500 when he wanted to get off the fence and commit to coming out 3-4 wide, he really committed and pushed the horse out, which was good, I felt, and he was very strong. So I gave him 2. And Zach is the one jockey that when there's a biased, he doesn't do one thing wrong on a bias. He rides them really well, and he's riding a lot of winners, of course. I know he's getting the rides, but he rides bias of tracks very, very well.
So there you see the leaderboard for the Idol, and Zach Purton, the champion rider, is a long way in front. Jason, it'd be hard to catch him from there, I'd imagine.
Very much will be. Brenton Avella has made the board, as has Dylan Brown McMonagle. RS, your phone might be going red hot with all the jockeys in that period that you've decided to just completely blank. There'll be jockeys texting you saying, I rode well there, I rode well there.
There's no slaughters. I'm not going to go there. Give them all a break.
Everyone enjoys a little bit of a break over Christmas. And back during December, Shane, you caught up with Jason Richardson and had a walk of the Happy Valley track, and it's going to be a series that we play here on the Triple Trio over the next couple of shows.
For the racing world, Happy Valley is a fascinating place to bet at. But it's such a unique racetrack, so we've got the perfect man to give us a tour today in the Hall of Fame jockey and Shane Dye. Shane, what's it like to ride here?
It is actually
electrifying, it's amazing. We're at the winning post where, of course, it's the finish. But just have a look around here now, the stand, how big it is. It goes from way down there out of the straight, all the way down to probably about the 200 metres, so it's huge. But then, have a look around Hong Kong, the tall buildings. At night, it just lights up, Richo.
Yeah.
There's nothing like this place in the world. I'm going to take you for a walk.
Let's go and have a walk of this great track.
Now, Richo, you tried to take off before on me, which isn't even a contest. I want to see you get under the fence and try and beat some of these blokes running around here.
I reckon I've
really
got him.
Test your ability.
I reckon I've got him. I'm going to give him a couple of metres head start. Let's go, come on.
Welcome back to the Triple Trio. We've got a busy period coming up, Jace, with the World Pool in January and February.
Yeah, there's some outstanding racing from all across the globe. Starting this weekend, we go to Meydan. We've got racing from New Zealand. The Group 1s from Hong Kong are World Pool races. We've got racing from South Africa and, of course, heaps from Australia, Flemington and Randwick. We've got Guineas Day coming up in late February, and there's also some great racing in March. But confirming that overnight, Friday night, there are 4 races taken from Meydan, Al Maktoum Challenge Day. There are the local times. And from New Zealand, a little bit closer to my hort, Railway Stakes Day or Karaka Millions Day, all 6 races on their twilight program. And this, in my opinion, is one of the best meetings New Zealand has. I like that it's only 6 races. It's very well attended. There's a great atmosphere. There's heaps of money up for grabs, and the Group 1 Railway Stakes is race number 6 on the program.
We're looking at the key races from Ellerslie on Saturday. We've got 2 proud New Zealanders here with us. Surely we can find a winner.
Well, we will. Starting with the Group 1 Railway over 1,200 metres, a race that Shane Dye would have had a lot to do with and much success over time. Arkansas Kid and Jigsaw from Australia are competing. You've got Crachetti, last year's winner, Sacred Satono Tadeli, Espionage back from Australia, and you've got Alabama Lass, who I guess Shane Dye is the question mark horse. This is her recent trial. We know how good she is, but where do you think she's at?
Yeah, it's hard to line her up. Her last run was no good in Melbourne, of course, but that's a while ago. She's come back fresh. I'm not fussed on her action here. She's not striding. She hasn't trialled great, but she's definitely got the ability. The horse on the outside, that's Sterling Express, I think, who's also in the Railway. This is the main guide to the Railway, this race here. This is Jigsaw, who's won a few on end now and has a lot of pace early. He's beating Arkansas Kid here, who I think will be very hard to beat. He's going to sit more off the pace and get over top of them. He's got gate 8. The other horse, Jigsaw's got gate 10. He might have to work a bit early. And there's another race also. There's so many of these races. This is that...
Swainess Day won this, and this is one of the, I guess, the lesser lead-ups. So you highlighted there probably the best lead-up race from Australia, and also the trial of Alabama Lass. But I really like the run of Espionage here, who settled further back in the running than I think he potentially needed to, but it was its first up run in New Zealand, so they weren't going to give it a gutbuster from a wide draw. From a better draw, I think Damien Lane Book can get it into a better position and might be that horse that, given the shape of the race, can just sit off them and come late. He hit the line really well. In fact, at odds, I'm going to have Espionage on top of my selections to win the Sistema Railway from 1 Arkansas Kid and 12 Alabama Lass. I've put her in because you just sort of respect her, but I don't know, Shane, it's sort of win or bust for her, but who did you like?
Oh, I've got the toppy on top, Arkansas Kid. I think he's going to be very hard to beat. He normally doesn't go bad, and it just sets up if they go too quick, he's midfield, he'll hit the line.
Looking at the 3-year-old Karaka Millions contest, this is over 1,600 metres, and we often see some of these horses even sort of come across to Australia deeper into their preparation.
Well, there's an absolute star in this, a filly by the name of Well Written, and Shane, you've spoken on the show about her, you've signalled her. She's acquired by Yulong these days. A part of her, or might be a majority share, has been acquired by Yulong. But this is what she did last time. She won the 1,000 guineas brilliantly, but the margin here, Shane, isn't great. But she's running home, I think, in sub-22 the last 400. They walked and sprinted, and she still got there. Looked like she got the speed wobbles.
Yeah, no, the race wasn't run to suit her because they just went so slow. But when you hit this filly, gee, she quickens. As we saw last year in the 1,000 or 2,000 guineas, whatever it was at Riccarton, when she just won so easy. If she came to Australia, she would win anything. No 3-year-old would beat her on their day in Australia, probably over the 1,400 to mile. She's outstanding. And unfortunately, Australia's not going to see her because they've said they're staying in New Zealand.
Yeah, they're campaigning her there under the tutelage of Stephen Marsh. She's sort of like Probabeel type numbers, and we've seen Probabeel win a 2- and 3-year-old Karaka Million when she was racing and performed very well in Australia. But I'm with you, Shane, well written on top for me. A couple of horses for maybe exotics if you're playing Quinellas, La Dorada and He Who Dares.
I can't imagine you'd be looking too outside the square here, Shane. Well written on top.
Yeah, it's $1.30 chance or something it wins. Simple, not hard.
What about the 2-year-old race? Is this a little bit more competitive? We get to see a couple of Australian jockeys making their way across as well.
Yeah, a couple of Australian trained horses as well. Kinnaird has won a lead up. This is very much more competitive, to answer your question, BZ. Torture there for the Hazes. De Armas, I think one of the leading chances in the race. Dream Rocker from Queensland, Liam Birchley and Ben Thompson. Dashing Dixie there. Here is De Armas. I think this is one of the key form references. She's a filly that's won a couple of races, and this is the most recent. It was excellent at Pukekohe. It was back in November, but she has had a trial since. Trainer John O'Benner has an excellent record in the Karaka Million 2 and latterly 3-year-old races, so he knows what it takes to prepare a horse to win the race and have it peak. And same could be said for Tiako. I think 8 out of 18 they've won in the 2-year-old division of the Karaka races. And this is Kinnaird. They're absolutely walking late because they burnt so quickly early in this. They're putting the blinkers on Saturday, and he's going to be one of the strongest on the line, I think.
Who do you like?
I like the filly De Armas. I have a healthy respect for Kinnaird, and also the Australian, one of the Australian raiders in that race as well, Torture. I think Torture, the way that it races, it'll sit just off them, and she's got a really strong turn of foot. She was stiff last time, wasn't she, back in Australia? How about you, RS?
I got Kinnaird number 1 on top for a few reasons. He's got gate 2. He's going to race closer. There's no risk about that. Opie's got an unbelievable record in this race, and as you discussed, Tiako just seems to win it most years. From gate 2, he'll box seat. The filly that you tipping goes really well. Got gate 10, going to have to work a bit to get across. That's the only thing. But it's a really good race, this, and it always is.
Well, there's a look at some of the races from New Zealand on Karaka Millions Day, and now we turn our focus to Hong Kong again, where the 4-year-old series is really starting to warm up.
Invincible Ibis is a leading contender in this year's Hong Kong 4-year-old series.
Invincible Ibis has come from last to round them all up, and he is going to shoot away. And Invincible Ibis is too good. Invincible Ibis, who bridged the gap quickly. Invincible Ibis is going to make it 2 for 2 at 1,400 and wins softly.
He was selected and bought by Mark Newnham out of the 2023 New Zealand Bloodstock Ready to Run sale for 425,000 New Zealand dollars and has nearly already doubled his purchase price in Hong Kong earnings. Mark Newnham, what attracted you into buying Invincible Ibis from the Karaka sale?
Well, look, at the Ready to Run sale, I go through every video before I bother looking at their pedigree, but he had a good clean action. And then it came down to temperament, lovely temperament, as you can see him standing here, because they've got, a busy environment here in Hong Kong, so they've got to be able to adapt to that. And then on pedigree, you need a horse that's going to be suitable for Hong Kong, pedigree that trains on. So Hellbent, his sire, they train on well, 3, 4 and 5-year-olds, and that's what we're looking for here.
To the right, thank you, Mark, 425. You're going to see a lot of him.
And what are his best attributes as a racehorse?
Oh, look, temperament definitely. He's got a great will to win, and he's got a good turn of foot. So, you know, if you put those three things together, you've got a pretty decent racehorse.
And here's 100 in Hong Kong for Mark Newnham, and he's got a nice one here. Invincible Ibis, a winner at the first time of asking.
How important is it to have a competitive bunch of 4-year-olds in your stable each season?
It shows that stables can produce a horse, especially for this 4-year-old series. We were lucky enough last year to have My Wish, who went through the series with a win in 2 seconds. And it gives owners confidence to you know, either give you the brief to go and buy them a horse, or if they've already purchased, to put a horse in the stable, because as you know, most Hong Kong owners want to compete in these races, the 4-year-old series culminating in the Derby. And so far with Invincible Ibis, so good.
Kiwi, what's your view on Invincible Ibis as a racehorse, and what do you like about him?
Nicole, I'm very impressed with him actually. He's very athletic type. He's obviously got an excellent record since his racing began here in Hong Kong, and obviously it was my first opportunity to ride him, and he showed a lot of courage in the victory. I mean, we hadn't seen that previously because all his wins were with significant comfort, but this time he had to really dig deep, and you know, it's a great sign in a racehorse when they do that, and hopefully he can continue on the upward spiral.
After riding him on Sunday, do you think he's the type of horse with the ability to take you through the entirety of the 4-year-old series?
Well, I think you do. I'm hopeful. I mean, I still think he's got to, you know, maybe reach another level, but there's no reason why he can't do that, because so far every question that's been asked of him, he's answered comfortably. He's going to have stiffer competition to come, I believe, and you know, I think tactically races might be run a bit differently once we get to the 4-year-old series. History would suggest that's the case, so he's going to have to adapt to different circumstances, but so far he seems to have been able to do that, and yeah, I'm really excited to be partnering him for the 3 races.
The Classic Series for the 4-year-old starts next week. What's your thoughts, Jace?
Yeah, nice piece by Nicole there on Invincible Ibis. Her husband, Zach, has chosen Sagacious Life for the first leg of the Classic Mile next Sunday. When Hutchie comes back, as he mentioned, he's going to have his 4-year-old rankings. They've been right on point the last 3 years, according to his ratings, as to who the leading contenders will be. But it's a fascinating road to the Hong Kong Derby with the first leg, the Classic Mile, next week.
We're under the whip with time here, but we've got to get to the social stable and also the best bets for Sunday. Well, the Longines World's Best Horse rankings were released over the past couple of weeks. Shane, Calandagain at the top. What's your thoughts there?
He's a very good horse, there's no doubt about that. It's very hard to line up sprinters and stayers or 1.5 mile horses. So Ka Ying Rising's just behind him, not far away, and you know, a lot of people will say he's the best horse in the world, but it's a debate, that one.
What about the world's best races, though, Jason?
No, the world's best races, I think they were joint, held by the Japan Cup and also the Champion Stakes at Ascot. Just on Ka Ying Rising, he was awarded the Timeform World's Best Racehorse, so he has got that award there. But a couple of big milestones. Francis Loy and also Danny Shum, 1,900 winners respectively by them. How good have these 2 Hong Kong trainers been over time?
Well, the thing with the Hong Kong trainers is they've really improved so much. Back in the 80s, they were probably just ordinary trainers, but now they're not. They've learnt so much from people like John Sires, etc., and other people throughout the years. Ivan Allen, he was another example, and that's where Danny's come from. Danny come from actually John Moore, who was outstanding, and Ivan Allen. So they're getting really good tutoring now, and they're seeing different styles of training, and they're exceptional trainers now, the Chinese. They're very, very good. And it's a great effort. It's a lot of winners, and to do it when you're only racing 10 months of the year, 2 times a week, it's fantastic, and good on them.
It's hard to imagine better training performance than Danny Shum over Romantic Warrior's career, an amazing trainer. Shane, are you heading to New Zealand over the next couple of days for the Karaka sales? 100 years of selling in New Zealand, yearling sales.
Actually, I'm not too sure. I still might. Someone wanted me to buy a couple of horses, but whether I go or not, I won't probably know till tomorrow, Saturday. I might get on a plane. Funny like that. I've done my Hong Kong work for Sunday, so I could, but I'm not 100% sure. I prefer the ready to run for myself personally, but a lot of good horses come from this sale. Many champions have.
We're getting to the end of the show. It's now time for the best bets on Sunday. Jace, who do you like?
Race number 2, Lucky 8 Downgrades, I think is an excellent chance. Has to overcome a wide draw, but Zach Purton rides. I think he'll be positive whether he slots on or outside of the lead or can find a spot 2 off. Lucky 8 last time in the grade was very good. And I think at a bit of a price, race 10, heaving each way. Third start, better draw, will run well.
What about you, Shane?
I'm going to go race 7, number 3, All's Well. He's finally got a good gate 3. He'll get a nice run running 5th or 6th, and he'll be very hard to beat in a race that's not very strong.
Well, that's it for the Triple Trio this week, boys. Thanks for having me, filling in for Jason Richardson, who was out on Vet's Advice. It's been great fun, and hopefully we can back a few winners on Sunday.
Well, that's for sure. Great pinch hitting, BZ. Catch you next time, Daisy.
Good luck, everyone.